Hey, Good News family, welcome to Now What, the podcast where we pull up a chair, talk through Sunday's message, and ask the question we're all thinking, now what? What do we do with what we just heard? And how do we actually live it out this week? So grab your coffee, your energy drink, whatever will keep you engaged, and let's figure it out together. Hey, Good News family, I am so glad to see you, I guess, again today. I feel like the weeks go by so fast because I get to look forward to being with you guys again. And I just want to tell you, I want to be in the habit of saying I am just honored that you want to dig deeper over the message and actually spend time with us to do that. Talk to us about the message, ask questions, you send emails in. And I just want to say thank you. We really love that you are, what it is it shows us that you are interested and you're invested. And I'm really excited to hear feedback.
Court is into it. Did
Sunday's
you see?
Message.
She is an encourager.
Listen. Welcome, Courtney Franks.
Thank you.
She is our first ever, I'm pretty sure, first proven podcast listener, our longtime faithful listener, and even had, for a season there, her boys were listening to the podcast with her.
Still do.
They still do. Yeah. And Isaac, I think he had to be 4 when this started.
Yes.
And he would literally be listening and he would make a comment about, I can't remember.
Hearing your voice in church and on the stairs.
Yes.
It's Mom? Yeah, the podcast? I'm yeah, she's real.
Yeah. And he would there was some kind of question. Maybe I asked Pastor Raphael or something on the podcast, and then he asked you, well, Mommy, how would you answer that question? However a 4-year-old would ask, but he was engaged.
He was.
And I love it so much. So it has been a long time in the waiting to get you here.
Thanks. Very honored to be
I'm really glad you're here.
And we didn't plan this.
I know. Look at this.
Second day in a row. Second time in a row. Yeah.
2026 is off and running.
To a good start.
Okay. Next week, the color is.
Yeah.
I swear to you, we did not plan this. Literally, you walked in when we were in a meeting today and I looked out the door and I was like, oh, look at her. We're all matching again. Mm-hmm. So I love it so much. Okay, Miss Courtney Franks, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, why you're here. I don't know, all the things. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, I'm here because a coworker of mine told me to come to his church, and I just didn't really want to, but I did. And then I saw James, and then it's over.
Did it.
So we don't know. Let's see. James was on the podcast maybe November, I think.
Yeah, a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. Anyway, that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. He was born here. Mm-hmm. I always say he was born in the pews.
He was.
I think I actually stole that line from you, but yeah.
I married you guys.
You did marry us.
Yeah.
The day after your anniversary, right?
I can't remember.
Are you the 7th?
You're August.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
8th. You're the 8th. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. You have 2 boys.
2 little redheads. They're adorable. 7.
So smart.
7-year-old.
The smartest human beings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's you guys. It's wild. And a 4-year-old.
7 and 4.
Little redheads. You can see them running around here. They're not. Could be Josh's. Could be mine. We don't know. We don't know who's.
It's true. I never thought about that.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
So
what do you do for a living? How do you tell people your job?
Man, that's such a hard question to ask. I usually just say I'm a project manager, but really I'm an implementation manager. So implementing software into organizations when they buy it from us. So
wow, sounds very smart.
No.
It is.
It is.
She's
It's
good
very
at what she
smart.
does.
Exactly. Very good.
Lots of talking. It's great.
Yeah, you're always getting promotions, making things move and shake. Yeah, I know you are a game changer at that.
I do. It is a great company. It's a very small company. It's very startup, which speaks to my soul because I feel like I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And so, yeah, it's great that it has the same heartbeat that I do.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what makes you a fan of the podcast? Why do you listen? Are you just do you generally just listen to podcasts all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have a list of how many podcasts do you probably faithfully listen to?
You gotta love a good murder crime podcast.
I keep thinking about doing that, and I'm not sure would I love it? Would it creep me out? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't listen at home. I'll only listen in the car.
Okay.
You guys, I'll listen at home.
Yeah.
But in the car, I have lots of drive time, so
yeah.
I got to listen to something. And now that my boys are older, it's not appropriate to listen to some of the country music I want to. So it's let's just turn on a podcast.
So can you listen to long podcasts? Or is it got to be within 20, 30 minutes?
He's steering he has a motive behind this question. Don't tell. I know what your motive is.
I won't listen to anything over an hour. I just won't. It's
So
too
if
long.
we run over an hour, what happens?
I'll just like get out of the car and have it in my pocket and get in the house and do whatever. And then I'm like, okay, we're done.
Do you ever speed up a podcast?
It's always on 1.5.
Okay.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
1.5 is right on the line for me of where I feel like I am slightly just getting a task done and not really engaged. So I'll go 1.25. It's probably me just being weird of like, oh, I'm trying to be honoring to what they're saying and I don't want to skip their words or whatever. But I feel like 1.5, I get a little bit too, I'm just doing this to check something off. But we do try to stay within an hour. But when we first talked about launching a podcast, I had said like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes each week to run over the sermon. And we said, yeah, let's do that. And then we realized, that's not going to be enough to get through the message and have be casual about it.
Yeah.
Conversation.
That's fair.
You know? So some weeks it's longer, some weeks it's shorter.
Yeah.
I'll be good today.
When I'm in binge mode, it's like, all right, let's knock out all these 53-minute, episodes.
Do you?
Which 53 minutes at 1.5?
Yeah.
That's like 30 something, right? 30
I
something
can't
minutes.
math.
That's a lot of math. Get a calculator. Okay, but then are you like, do you feel like you have to listen to every podcast? Like if you subscribe to them and there's some of your, top 10 or whatever, like you feel you have to get them. Even if it's been a long week, I got to knock out all these podcasts.
No, that's James.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But then he's also training for a marathon, so he has plenty of time to listen to podcasts.
And one of his top 5 strengths is input. And so he has to have something going in constantly.
Okay.
So he's listening to, we're fasting with you all as a church body, right? And so one of the things we're fasting is social media. And he's like, now that I know it's social media, I had to like read the news and do a crossword puzzle. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So he right now is just, he always has his phone on, playing some sort of podcast.
And for those of you who haven't made the connection, James is the guy who plays keys if Aaron's not playing, and sometimes plays guitar as well. Yep.
Yeah,
that's true. We should make that connection. Yeah. Okay, before we jump into the message, you actually just mentioned that we're in the fast. We're in the committed fast.
Yeah.
21 days fasting and prayer. And I wanted to jump into one of the devotionals today just really quick because it happens to be in the devotional, it's day 11. So you probably, if you're listening right when we drop, you might be just getting there. But this one is called To Follow is to Surrender. And just thinking through the last 2 weeks of what we've been talking about, the verse is Galatians 2:20. My old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. So I live in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. And as you jump down in the devotional, it talks about that God, in God fashion, he doesn't ask of us without also giving back much more than we deserve. So thinking about this message this week that we're going to jump into, of talking about, if we're going to follow Jesus, it's through the way we worship. And it doesn't mean just singing songs at a certain section of a service. It's how we live our lives of worship, how we serve others, and that is actually leading others to Christ, and then how we're on mission together. And it says, God won't ask of us without also giving back much more than we deserve. Not only does he give us relationship with him, but he also gives us purpose in life. And in there is Matthew 4, which you referenced on Sunday, where Jesus says, follow me and I will show you how to fish for people. So not only does he he calls you and says, follow me into what I'm asking you to do, I'm also promising to show you that show you how to do what I'm asking you to do. So it made me think about even when you said sometimes, and I've been guilty of it over the years, of discounting ourselves and our abilities and what we have to offer and say, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not a leader. No, I'm not this. No, I'm not that. And you said, that's not humility. That's not godly. That's become a lie that you're living in your life. And here it is, because right here in Scripture, Jesus starts his very first call of anyone into ministry. I'll show you how to do it. Just follow me. So I was thumbing through these today and I saw this one. I thought, you know what? I really want to make sure we hit on that today, because that is part of the heartbeat of this message. Is we've been created and we've been called to follow him into how he asks us to follow. And we're all capable of it. So let's just jump into the message. You made me really nervous.
Uh-oh.
So last week the title was, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
And everybody in the congregation be like, yeah, it is you, actually. PJ, I've been waiting for you to figure out this is all about you. And anything that's wrong in my life is your fault, is basically, what somebody could take away, which was not true. But this week you say, it's not me. You say, it's not us, our leadership team. It's y'all. It's you, the church.
Yeah, you said that.
I'm like, oh, everybody's going to get so offended. And you said, it's not about me as the pastor. It's not about us as a leadership team. It's about you, church. But it had to be said.
Sure.
We are a family committed to seeing lives changed. And if we as a congregation, as a church family, don't get on board with that, this is the mission of Good News Church. It feels, Sarah said it last week when she was here, if you haven't heard it yet, but she said it felt like a family meeting where dad is talking to the teenagers, like, no more excuses. Here's what I'm providing you. Here's what we're trying to do. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect father, whatever. I don't have an owner's manual of how to do this. Here's what God is providing for you. You have to make some kind of effort. You have to take some responsibility for yourself.
Yeah.
I wonder how you, sitting in the congregation, heard it. The message, the title.
I think it's evident that we're bought in, because we've been here for a long time. So when I hear that, I think, like, I thought that's what we did anyway. Truly.
Yeah.
But then I wrote down, like, one of my questions was, I completely agree with everything you said about culture, but we're in this world where people just don't really care about commitment. And so how do you try to convey that to a giant congregation that...
Yeah. I think every Monday I always have all these regrets of things that I wish I would have shaped differently, because you work so hard at trying to craft something and it's always incomplete.
Well, and you have in your mind all the different ways what you say could be taken, heard, digested, and you're trying to make it fit for everybody without taking away from the truth of it.
I think if I would have gone back, because just you guys talking and even the unpacking, Matthew 4, I think, God was giving this command. I want you to follow me. I'm going to make you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to develop you. But then think of all the things they got to see, all the things they got to do. And then as life progressed after Jesus left, he said, I'm giving you the responsibility, but the impact and the development and the discipleship, it kept on going. And so really the invitation was, there's more in you. There's stuff that God wants to do through you. And the greatest value in life is not what you can, get out of it, but what you give into it.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that lasts. And, I can think back over my life, it was the places where I gave the greatest sacrifice and the greatest effort that I value the most, because I got to see what happened with it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know what we're supposed to do with that, but I just feel like it was incomplete.
Okay, re-ask the part of your question, though. You said...
Yeah, I don't know. Commitment is something that I think is all of the sudden, nobody cares about commitment.
Yeah.
And it's probably because James is listening to so many news articles, but it's like one we listened to was on divorce, one was on like prenups, and we're like, what? And so that's kind of how
nobody's committed to anything anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody backs out on anything. I remember like in COVID culture, then it was like, well, if I have barely a sniffle, I have COVID, I can't go.
Sure.
So we started canceling all the time. We would just drop like flies, and like we would have, in the name of COVID, I don't want to expose you, so I can't. And we got really good and comfortable at not following through with commitments. And now it just it's like a wildfire. Nobody's committed.
And I just read in my devotionals, I think it was yesterday. So I have this devotional I asked Susie to make for me. And it takes you through the Bible twice in a year.
I remember.
So you get, like right now, Genesis, Job, Isaiah, Matthew, maybe Romans, and maybe sometimes there's one other put in there. And so Jesus gave hey, come follow me. And the person goes, well, I've got, my dad hasn't died yet. And Jesus is like, well, let the dead bury their dead. Do what you need to right now. And just people made excuses. And listen, I'm not down on people. You got kids, you got a marriage, you're important at your job. There's only so much energy. I think it's the value system of where do I choose to make my commitments?
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody can't do everything, but where you choose, make the investment and stick with it. And so commitment is important to church just as it is, in other places in your life.
Yeah.
How about thinking about people and just the different situations we're coming out of when we begin to surrender our lives to Jesus, and maybe commitment and follow through has not been a regular part of our lives. What do you can you guys think of, like, maybe some practical things of, like, where could you start with learning how to be a person of your word and having follow through, being committed?
My first couple of years were pretty shaky. Coming out of what I came out of. And then I went to Bible school. So I wasn't surrounded by mentors. I was surrounded by people kind of like me, who were trying to get their life together too while going to Bible school. So
Exactly.
it wasn't until I met Carissa that she just became the joy killer. She set boundaries and rules and laws, and
We're going to edit that out.
no, but I mean, I needed it. I needed it, and I grew more because somebody said, guess what? You just don't get to do that anymore.
Yep.
You do this instead. And my growth skyrocketed. It was in the commitment. I had to work through developing the muscles behind commitment. But when I committed, I grew. It's just that simple. And now it's just part of the culture I carry around in my heart.
It's so true. I mean, we've said it for years. It's been taught to us. We've lived it. I know it's been passed down to Courtney and her generation as well, of, like, we'll always say, when you're serving, especially in a leadership capacity, you're actually growing more often than the people you're the people you're leading.
Teacher learns the most.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because even like you talking about prepping your message, it's like, well, even as if you're leading people in a Bible study or anything, you don't have to be profound and know everything there is to know about the Bible. I mean, you know that full well. You were in our life group forever. And we're learning right there with you, but I still have to be prepared. I still have to be committed. I still have to plan, like, we have a basketball game today at the same time as group. Court, James, could you please get to the house? The door's unlocked.
Yeah.
You say, greet everybody, get everybody going. We'll be there as soon as we can. But that was ingrained in us of, I want to be committed to Jesus just as much as I'm committed to my kids going to their basketball games. I'm going to my job on time. I show up on time for a doctor's appointment, those kinds of things. If those are important, how much more is my commitment to Jesus? And that's for us where it was just putting action to what was coming out of our mouth. If this is what we mean, then this is what we mean.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So what does commitment look like in your relationship with Jesus now? Got marriage, 2 kids, work, all of the drama that comes with trying to raise a young family. What does commitment, in all of this busyness, what does commitment look like to you?
That's a great question. I think back to, like, pre-marriage and then early marriage. Like, I would just sit in our little red chair and read my devotional and the Bible, and I was in it. And then when you have kids, you're kind of like, oh boy, okay. So when am I going to have 5 minutes to do this? I think a big thing for me is that my kids know that I'm, like, Jesus is important to us and our family, and that's what we value. And so I'm going to take the time to do this. And even, it's funny you ask, because we had to explain this to Isaac, our 7-year-old, because we wanted him to fast with us, but we don't want him to fast food. I did it anyway.
No,
so
I agree.
Trying to, like, talk to
Come on, James.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that just having those conversations and, like, trying to get him to recognize is really hard for me, because how do you describe that to a 7-year-old?
Yeah.
But yeah, now I think it's probably harder than it's ever been.
Yeah. And you're just trying to exemplify.
Yeah.
What it means. Yeah. At this stage, because I kind of want to talk to maybe some older, because this is where you're beginning to tap out a little bit. You start getting mid-50s and older. You're like, man, I've done the leadership. I'm tired. I'm tired of people a lot of times, or issues or drama. I just want to relax. And even in ministry, there's just sacrifices that come with, saying yes to Jesus. And yet it's the things that we're taking into eternity that I want people to think about, right? They have so much to offer, so much to give, so much to invest. And, whether it be that you're a young mom and with a growing family, or you're an older person, you got to manage your time well and your energy well. And so I really want people to think, what is it and what time frames, what do I have to give and what can I give, but I want you to give, right? That's what commitment looks like. It's not this 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
It is selectively making a decision where you're going to invest into eternity.
And I think too, there's seasons where you can give more, and there's seasons where you have to pull back. There's seasons where you have to adjust some things, and it can look different. Even thinking back early in our walk here at Good News as a married couple and family, it would be. You talked about trade-offs in the message on Sunday. And so I started thinking, the way I started thinking about it was, okay, I have to iron my accountant husband's dress shirts. And they're like the size of a tent, you know? And at that day, that day, he had to wear, if it's tax season, he wore a dress shirt 6 out of 7 days a week. And so there's plenty of ironing to do.
Yeah.
So I would plan on inviting somebody over to hang out while I was ironing, because I was committed to, I want to pass down anything I know and be just let's talk about Jesus. Let's just learn and grow together. So it started when we were in youth, and it was just youth coming over. Then as people got older, and they're like, bring your kids over, play with my kids, and then I'm going to iron. We're going to the park. We might as well bring another mom and her kids with us. Like you think about what are the trade-offs. If there's things you said, I think on Sunday, maybe it was in an offline conversation, but there's things we already have to do. So be committed to Jesus within those things. You know, if you're going to the pool, bring people, and then make a concerted effort that I'm not going to become the person where they don't want to go to the pool because she's just going to drill us with questions. But I do want to say, like, could we get just a little lower than surface level and just, you know, how are things with you and James?
Yeah.
You know, like, what's hard with the kids right now? How's your quiet time with Jesus? Because I know when I was at this stage, it was really hard.
Yep.
You know, those kind of things, because that's the ways that I can pull in my following of Jesus and my commitment to him into my everyday life, rather than just say, I'm in a busy season, I can't do anything, you know?
What does it look like? So the first one was commit, you know, to follow.
Yep.
Faith.
It was worship. In this week.
Yeah.
What does bringing your best mean? You thought about it?
Yep. And when you were talking about that, to me, I've got this like integrity thing going on where that's just been top of mind a lot in this devotional. That's what I'm hearing. Like at work, that's what I'm hearing. And so I'm filtering everything you're saying through like, wait a second, I'm hearing this in other places too. So to me, it felt like I don't mean to sound any sort of way, but just showing up and doing your best that should just be like the base.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think,
Yeah.
So in life, you'll find out there's some places I can give my best, and there's other places where I'm drifting or I'm not giving my best. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I have a fully fleshed out thought there, but
Like when your client is angry at you and you're going, I've got to give my best.
but like I am trying to.
Yeah.
I truly am. And yeah, that's a whole thing.
And what trying to looks like, some days it's just before you answer the call, because you can see on caller ID who the call is or whatever, it's, Jesus, help me. It could be that simple.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
In my mind, I'm saying, Jesus, help me. And I'm thinking the word integrity, because that's what's been on my mind.
Yeah.
Because Holy Spirit, for some reason, you're bringing integrity to light. And I love when he does things like that, because then you see integrity everywhere you go.
Yep.
And is it integrous? Am I being integrous in this moment?
Yeah.
Am I being integrous in this moment? And you can have the argument, well, I can guarantee you he's not having to be integrous like you're expecting of me in this moment. Doesn't matter. God says, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Had the same conversation with my teenager yesterday, frustrated with an expectation we have with him that he's claiming we did not have with his older brothers.
okay.
And I said, actually, you're right to a point.
You're our last hope. You gotta do better.
I'm like, you are right to a point, but there's also reasons behind that. And then Nate and I both, unbeknownst to the other, said, and guess what? You're you,
Right.
and they're them. There's no promise that I'm going to have the same expectation of them as of you, but I'm going to do what I feel God is telling me to do with you.
Yeah.
And your job is to obey. period. You know, you can be respectful. You can kick back a little bit. You can ask why, as long as it's with respect. We've always taught that in parenting, because I can't talk respectful a lot of the time. I have to work on it myself, but of processing through expectation. So what I was saying was integrity. If God's working on a certain thing in me, I can have a pity party and be like, that's not fair. You're expecting more of me. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. All of us are leaders. You talked about that. Jesus was the epitome of a leader, and he did it through serving. Every single one of us we're leading somebody, whether it's a 4-year-old, whether it's my grandma who's never known anybody who claimed to follow Jesus before in their life, and she's watching you, and she's 30 years older than you. Everybody's watching.
Yep.
We're leading somebody, and there is a responsibility with that rather than an excuse. Tell me some more things that stood out to you in this message. You brought up some stuff about the Barna research that I thought was really good.
It's because I'm a nerd, right?
That's good.
So it's like, it's funny, right? No, it's not. This is God. This is how he works. But we went and had dinner with Rach and Siege, who are James's sister and husband. And he is a data nerd and I'm a data nerd. So we work with data sets all the time. And that was my thought is, okay, first of all, who is this company? Never heard of them. And then what's their data set? So like, tell me how many people are included in this research.
We'll have to give her the book afterwards, but who's Barna?
So Barna is, they study Christian, and they're legit. I mean, usually thousands of people. I can't tell you how many, but they are within Christian circles. They're the quality trusted voice for any analytics for Christianity.
The top two that I hear, and I might be incorrect in this, but I hear top tier is Barna, and I hear Pew Research a lot.
Pew Research, I think they do multiple.
Okay, yeah. And so we actually have a couple of like State of the City book that I would love to show you since you're a data nerd, that has all these Barna studies that they did for our city of Omaha. And then there's just nationwide and global, just what's happening in the Big C church. And actually, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I can't remember if it was you and I on here or not, but our job is to study the church, right? Our job is to look at the stats and see what's happening, what's trending, whatever, and start to say, how does that correlate to our church body? Because we are a bit of a unicorn, but we're still a whole bunch of humans trying to follow Jesus. So we fit enough of the mold. But I thought of that on Sunday, and I'm glad you brought it up, of like, most people don't know what Barna is.
No, never heard of them.
Okay.
Which is concerning to me, because I'm like, I feel like I should know who that is.
If you do, you'll dive into a lot of analytics. You're going to find out the state of Christianity and churches and pastors and all kinds of stuff.
Like, it's not just AG, it's Lutherans and
no, it's everything.
Every
mainline. Evangelical.
But Christians.
Christian.
Okay.
Some studies there sometimes.
I think their worldview is through the lens of Christianity, but they analyze a lot of things.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I was just going to say something about that. No, about the Barna thing you just asked. I'll find it. It's gone. Okay, so he gave us his couple stats on Sunday.
Yep. And James and I looked at each other and we were like, what? What? 49% claim to be Christians and 24
within America now.
Claim
the title or the
And 24% of that 49%, the basic pray, maybe read your Bible some, and have a biblical worldview.
Ooh.
That's what we're contending with.
Yeah. And it's also, one of the things that the guy that was communicating, he was saying, you have 30 minutes as a pastor, but up to 40 something hours of social media, news, information, every person is listening to a week on average.
Said up to 49 hours of media a week, the average person is watching, according to the Barna study.
So he's going, you're trying to reach people that are already being discipled by something else.
And, you think about that too. Now, it's not even, it could be in a good thing. I'm listening to this pastor, I'm listening to this pastor, I'm listening to this pastor, I'm listening to this speaker, I'm listening to this. But then I call you my church home, I call you my lead pastor. But if you go over 30 minutes, Nate talks about this all the time, being on security team. His job is to be looking in the, watching the auditorium, right? And he'll say, watch. watch at what point different people start to pick up their phones. And as the speaker, you see people start to pick up their phones. So you feel this pressure.
Yep.
How do I honor Jesus and not be, bullied by short-term attention span? But at the same time, the reality is short attention span.
It's funny. I said this a couple of years ago, but through the years, our attention span has gotten shorter and shorter as our backsides have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right. You're totally right.
As evidenced in the pews, it's getting harder and harder for us to fit as many people in the pews.
Yeah. Well, and we don't want to sit by each other. So
That's the other thing too. Right. And then we'll just justify, well, you might have a germ, so therefore we need
I
space.
might. Yeah. Honestly, I might. Okay. So I could nerd out on that all day. So I'm glad that, thanks for bringing up research. This is what I say to all my customers. It's really, really hard to dispute data. Like you just can't. So.
Which is interesting because you're not the only data nerd in the congregation. So I love that. That gives me framework of like, there are other people who would like to know more. And I think for those of you who do like to know more, you are boots on the ground when you hear it. You're responsive to it. It's not like you just take it and ignore it and forget about it. It's like, well, then wait a second. What's my responsibility with it?
Yep.
And that we need to tap into that because we know this research, but if enough of you don't know this research that's motivating to you, it's like, well, then what's my role? What's my responsibility with when we have stats like this?
Yep.
What do we need to be doing?
It makes it more real. Because now I'm like, oh my gosh, half of these people, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it just makes it more real for me.
Because then if I'm listening to the statistic you gave on Sunday, then basically am I looking around, I'm on any given Sunday in the auditorium, only 24% at most of those?
So I think it's dependent on, because you're talking about a cross-section of people across America, different churches, denominations, a bunch of different things that they measure by. So I think a church may have more percentage of followers and depth than other churches.
Yeah, because we just lumped us all into the same space.
That's fair.
I get it. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got, Court?
I feel like my parents did a really awesome job of teaching us how to work hard, but also how to like be a woman of my word, right? Integrity. And this is just going on in my head. But I was also brought up with fairness. So like for Christmas, my mom would buy us to the penny the same amount of Christmas presents. Like you get this amount and you get this amount and it's the same amount. So I think about that a lot. And you talked about the honor principle, like taking off your hat and you're going home and you're I think you're talking about like, bringing your best all the time. So I just kind of am trying to filter through that lens of like fairness, being 100% for everybody. Like how?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, and I appreciate your parents and how they spent
They're so great. They're so great.
Yeah. It's impossible. So I think, I think you're trying to do the best you can and you give what you have to who's in front of you, but you determine your time, you determine your energy, and that's really why you determine what season you're in and what you can offer. So there should be no guilt or condemnation to go, no, I can't do it in this season because my priority is my home, and my priority is my relationship with Jesus, and then secondarily, I can offer this sometimes. But I have to be true to my family first, and to my first responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. I should have balanced it. This is one of those things you prepare, but there's people out. It's like the shopping cart thing.
Yeah. Yes.
But I was told there are times when moms have smaller children that they just need to leave their cart because they can't go and put their cart back. That's
Because
really
the cart
reasonable.
corral is so far away.
Right next to the cart corral.
Which that's.
But
the
if
other
you can't,
then you drive around till you do.
oh, see,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Hear you. I agree. I know, but I will drive around until I can park next to one.
That's really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's really good, and that's leader right there. It's
Yeah,
like
it is.
It's like. I have a justifiable
culture.
excuse, which I
Yeah.
hate that word, but I have a justifiable reason that I can't return my cart. But a leader says, but I can find a solution.
Yeah.
I can still be who
Yeah.
I want to be, and I can find a solution. And that challenges me
Yeah.
of like different things of where I'm like, I'm going to make the excuse on that. And then no, as a leader, I don't want to make an excuse. I was thinking about that too when you said, you were talking about capacity really in different seasons. And some of it too is gosh, you would say this all the time, but I can't find my words. It's like growth. If I say I'm going to go back to the gym, I can only do the 5-pound dumbbells today, but I'm going to do what I can. And then, in 6 weeks, I might be able to jump up to the 10-pound. And I think that kind of leadership, that commitment to growth, it's a muscle that needs to be trained. That then all of a sudden you realize it's not that exhausting for me to incorporate you into the season of life that I'm in, because I adjusted, I figured it out, I found my rhythm, I'm stronger, this is flowing easy, I can pull you in, and it's not really the big deal. So we also have to work from that space too, of where we're constantly growing. But then again, remembering seasons of winter it's
a tough season.
It's a tough season.
Yeah.
But coming out of winter, you'll like Sarah and I will say, summer, we're living our best lives.
Yeah.
If we can spend enough hours a week out in the sun and the heat, then you're going to get some of your best out of us, because we're so happy in the summer,
I think the thing you need to determine is, you have to learn to surrender your will while using wisdom.
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to figure out what, are we lying to ourselves? Are we being honest? Are we giving our all? But I think the goal is that you're surrendering your will, embracing your limits, which is really spiritual. We don't like it. And some people use limits as a way to get out of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think, wisdom says what you can give, what you're supposed to give. And there'll be other seasons where you can give more. But in this season, what's the most important?
Yeah.
It's good.
What else you got? Let's go.
I just think about my mother-in-law, who constantly says, every time those doors were open, we were at the church. And I'm like, oh no, I'm here like a fourth of that time. Oh, my kids,
I think there's a balance in there.
Yeah.
Because some of, like my kids have lived in both eras of church, right? Of when you were here, when we were here, the doors were open, we were here. And they, quote unquote, like you said about James, they grew up in the pews. That's what they did. Their fun was climbing over the pews. They did things in this church building that, oh my gosh, but it was like their second home.
Yeah.
And then it became church came into our home, which was life group. That was part of the conversation with the teenager yesterday about your brothers and your sister grew up with a life group always happening in our home. Always. Every single Sunday, that was just our rhythm. And they became our family, your cousins. You didn't have all that nearby. And then now there's a season of life for Nate that has shifted that for us. So you don't have that same dynamic that your siblings had.
Yeah.
So, and just understanding that, we're driving 30 minutes and people do it still. People do it. And there's that more power to you. That's great. But there is making sure we check our motivation behind it. And we can be the church still in our neighborhood and not have to always be inside. And actually, I would challenge you. A lot of times we were in that era of when the church doors were open, we were there. We were very exclusive because we were very inward focused. All the Bible believing Christians are coming together. And that way we keep the world out. And now we've recognized, no. We're to be in the world, not of the world. So how do we get out of these four walls? And so that mindset, at least for our family, has shifted a lot. Of if I'm always at the church every time the doors open, I'm never at the basketball games in the stands with my neighbors, talking to them about their life.
Or just outside,
or
seeing your
outside in my
neighbors.
driveway talking to my neighbors.
Do you feel guilty for your lack of involvement? Do you feel pressure?
Well, yeah. Do you know who my mother-in-law is? Yes, of course I do. She's amazing.
She is amazing.
If one of my two kids could be as good as what she did, like I feel like I'd be winning. But it's also like not. I hate saying this, but it's like just not the norm of our generation. I think you talked about that maybe yesterday or last week on the podcast. It's like just church is just different.
It is.
Than it was.
Life is different.
Yeah.
It is vastly different.
Yeah.
And I think, those of us who have lived through, It's crazy. The amount of information, the amount of things that's expected. It used to be, so you always hear pastors talk about bosses used to tell people, correct workers, why weren't you at church? That you never. Now you used to not have sports on Sunday. Now there's practice, sports, everything on Sunday.
Didn't have it on Wednesday nights.
Yep, everything.
Didn't
They used to
on Wednesdays.
Yeah. So all of these things have just it's different.
And then we also didn't have as much access to teaching and all the things. If we didn't have that worship music on a cassette tape at our house,
That's true.
Then we didn't have access to
have it.
Now,
Most of the time you didn't want to listen to that stuff anyway. It was terrible back then.
You were in the choir?
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Don't you know that story?
They put her way in the back.
We'll tell the real story.
Okay.
I was in the back because I was tall.
That's true.
Did they have
too.
risers? Like they
We
used
had
to?
risers.
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
I
Sorry
cannot
to
believe
get
I'm
us-
saying this publicly.
Well, then-
a lot of people know this story. A lot of people know. I was thinking that I wanted to start to serve, and I love to sing, and I was in the choir in high school, whatever, so I'm going to join the choir. And then I joined the choir. My first Sunday, I realized, I have a really good vantage point from here.
Oh,
That maybe my future husband is out there worshiping the Lord while I'm up here in choir.
Absolutely.
And I would scan
And I'll
on
find
Sunday
him.
mornings, and I will find him.
Sometimes she throw up her hands just because. It's a worshiper.
No, actually, I found him in a little Lutheran home in small town Nebraska, or Lutheran church in small town Nebraska. Actually, he was not here. But yeah, that certainly helped me be on time for choir because I was looking for who is going to marry me. I already have a kid who's going to want to adopt her. I had all these ideas in my mind of God's got somebody out there who's going to
yep. Well, you
be
did
worshiping.
well.
I did do well,
did
didn't
well.
I? Yes.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
We kind of closed it all out with mission, and because you're still young mom,
Yep.
married,
Yep.
what does it feel like to be on mission?
Oh boy.
Do you feel like, because I think a lot of people struggle with this, do you feel like you are, you're on mission?
Don't
recency
answer how
bias.
anybody you think wants you to answer.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I have a really hard time like thinking 10 years down the road or like looking back, which loved that point you made about like anxiety and depression. Love that. I think I'm filtering everything through the devotional. It's like, yeah, I feel like I'm on mission,
That's good.
but I'm like fasting and stuff, So
Yeah.
of course I'm feeling that.
With limits as to what you feel like you're supposed to be giving in comparison to previous generations, do you feel like you're not giving enough? Feel like you're not
For
giving enough?
sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I even, pretty embarrassed to say this, but like would be giving all to my work for the last 8 years and not in my home for the last 7 years. Or like even with James, like that poor guy, just not being able to
You know what? But he's left brain. He doesn't feel anything anyway. So he's very reasonable.
he started running. And so
Yeah.
This gives you more free time. Going for-
He's working it out. He's working it out when he runs. Yeah.
So I'm, recency bias. It's like, I feel like I'm living on mission. Maybe if you would ask me that a month ago, I probably would be like, no.
I just, I think sometimes the reason why I want to talk about these things is because we have these ideals of what we think marriage is supposed to be and child raising is supposed to be. And then what does it mean to serve in the church and my expression of devotion to Jesus. And you have to work it out. And there are seasons. So, the reason why we give our best in the season we're in is because we have to know what we can give in the season we're in, and then we give our best.
Yeah.
And that's it. And there'll be other seasons that come. Your kids will be grown up, and it's going to be sad and freeing. Thank God my kids are grown up. I love it.
My gosh.
I love it.
Both of our parents are retired.
Yeah.
And they're like harder to nail down. Like we can't get them to commit or do anything with us.
Yeah, they're free.
Like, hello. So yes, just wait till you're retired.
Yeah.
More free.
Yeah.
Okay, then my wiring and my personality comes into that statement of what you said. And there is making sure that people here know what season you're in and don't feel, don't overcommit yourself and you're exhausted and fatigued. And I definitely have spent, a couple decades of figuring out what does that look like? What's the balance of it all? But yet I also know there can be seasons where I can say, oh, I just need to be all about my kids right now, and it can be correct. And other times again, I can pull people in. I have to think bigger than just my own life, because then every parent would be out for a minimum of 20 years of discipling people and being on mission, because one child is in your home for 18, and most of us have more than one child. So then it's just like, well, sorry. I mean, look at me. Kirsten is 32 years old. Remington is 16. So for 32 years, I still wouldn't be, on mission, as we say, because I have to just be inward focused for my family. I think we need to work that out of what that looks like to be, because a lot of the discipling of my children happens by them being a part of me discipling other people.
Yeah, right.
And them watching my journey of people discipling. They're in it. They're with us at groups. They are a part of that. And they're listening to the conversations and learning, rather than we don't have time for anybody else.
That's why I go back to really being honest with your time.
Yeah.
What is the most important things in your life, and are you being faithful with them? Because it's, the older you get, the more clear things become. And it's also the place where you begin to regret. So the sooner you can do the work to get clear on what's most important, you're going to be much more faithful. You're going to look back. Everybody's going to have some regrets, but you're also going to go, I gave my best to the right seasons and the right things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in that trade-off section that you said, what parts of your life are you intentionally investing or doing to impact eternity?
Eternity, yep. I have that note down. That was the last note.
And of all people, you're one of the most kind and fun and engaging. So I just want to turn you on to anybody that walks in the door. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain people that just have it, and you're one of those people.
No, thanks.
Yeah. She needs to be somewhere where people coming through our doors are like, I want to hear you before I see you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I mean, I still have my red welcome shirt, so
there you go.
Put that back on.
Remember those days?
It doesn't feel like that long ago, but COVID just like that chunk of life is gone from my brain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So was that a long time ago?
It was pre-COVID?
I think so,
yeah. It was pre-COVID.
Oh,
that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
Do you have any other notes?
Nope. The last one was the eternity. That to me is, I need to chew on that for ever,
It is. It's a constant, like, again, God, what is my responsibility in this season? What are you asking of me? What do I need to be doing? And sometimes he says, I need you to rest. Sometimes you're going so hard and so strong in the name of Jesus, you're claiming, but you are, ignoring your husband. You're not failing at your job. Your health is suffering, whatever the things are. It's like, we need to make sure what our motivation is, and then make sure that we're listening to him on what's he
I think you can go back to Psalm 37 where it says, delight yourself. And then it says, commit, right, and obey. And I just think learning how to be with Jesus is more important than serving Jesus. And so it's secondary.
One of the devotions that has stood out the most to me so far is, it lines up with something I had read earlier this year. And it was talking about honor the Sabbath is actually made it onto the top 10 list for God, right? Top 10 commandments,
right.
Honor the Sabbath. And then we've spent a lot of time over the decades trying to, does the Sabbath still apply? We're not under the law anymore. What does the Sabbath look like? All these kinds of things. And so processing that even God rested, and even God put in the top 10, we needed to rest. And for certain of our personalities, rest is hard. It feels like I'm being lazy. It feels like I'm taking advantage, whatever. Or Jesus could come back tomorrow, and have I been doing enough? Those kind of things. But one of the devotions in here is actually, I think it was day 7, and it talks about rest, and just the picture of that God implemented rest from the beginning, day 7. So I see he empowers Adam and Eve and tells them they have work to do, but then he's going to make them honor a day of rest. If he needed to rest, certainly his creation needs to rest. And like picturing them in the garden of how their day of rest would have looked like in the garden, it would have been hanging out, walking with God. In the cool of the day, it talks about God walking. It gives me goosebumps to think about it. And so there's a part of me right now that is longing for, like, I need, oh my gosh, sorry.
You want to walk around in nature.
I want to,
of course.
Yes, I just want to
Just crying with the Lord.
walk
Crying with the
around and
Lord.
cry. I want to walk around with the Lord, just like Adam and Eve had such an intimacy. It doesn't mean I have to erase all my other responsibilities. It does mean I have to shift some of them. And know that, you know what, there's a time for that. And right now, if I don't take some rest, I'm not going to be able to accomplish those things ever again.
But you know why he gave this? So, you know, Israel's coming out of slavery, and with that idea of you've always got to provide for yourself and do it yourself, he was going, I'm commanding you to rest to show you that I take care of you. That's the other part of that.
So good.
So the rest is, because I mean, I'm in this season and I'm very futuristic, like very futuristic. And the Lord's going, I want you to learn to live today and enjoy today. That's it. Well, I don't know that I like it.
Yeah, I don't
I
want
kind of
to.
like it and I kind of don't like it because I feel like I'm pulling against something I've practiced for so long, just like you coming out of slavery, that you feel the pressure of always thinking through the way it's got to be and what we got to do and all this kind of stuff. And he's going, this is exactly why I implemented Sabbath, for you to remember you rest because I've got it.
Yeah. My tagline for a futuristic person, my tagline for about 25 years has been enjoy the moments, because singular, enjoy the moment, because I am always like feeding the kids. I got to think about what's next. Okay, we got to do this and we got to do this. And it's just always been.
And you know what? The kids are older now. You do what you do. I hope you eat.
yourself.
That's right. That is right.
you can drive yourself to Panda Express now if you want to.
That's right.
But it's really, really hard to find joy in the moment you're in without constantly thinking, or your brain too, analyzing the moment of, have I maximized it?
That's it. Gosh.
Have I maximized it? Can I not
Am I
just
wasting
be in the moment?
Resource, time.
Yes.
Yeah, all of it.
It's very, very difficult.
This.
And then to be married to people who think like that, it's very stressful for them too, because they're like, I figured it out. Can you figure it out? Can you not sit here?
And Carissa at home, like, she really, like, I call her a sloth because she just relaxes. No, not in a bad way. No. She knows how to rest. She's grown up. All right, we're running out of time.
We're okay. Would you stop talking about time?
We're running out of time. We're ending soon. But she really will enjoy a day, or enjoy her time off, or enjoy, doesn't mean she's not doing things, but she knows how to rest. And I'm like, but we could be doing stuff. We could be investing or getting better or growing. And she's like, whatever.
Okay, so somehow, this is how we're going to end. Somehow we just swung to rest in a committed to follow sermon. So I don't think that's by accident.
You can't follow unless you learn to rest.
Okay. So there's something connected in there. And then I swing back to what Courtney hears for her life right now, integrity. Integrity helps you live from both a place of rest and doing, and not, you check yourself all the time. My integrity forces me to go, am I just being lazy? Or is God calling me to rest? Am I leading for the right reasons, or am I just trying to impress? Integrity helps us to balance rest and movement, being on mission, servant leader. And by all means, whether we're worshiping or resting, or whether we're like full whatever, our life is to worship. So everything we do is worship, and God considers it that. So
when they tilled the ground, this would be the last thing. Avad was the Hebrew word. It actually meant to work and worship. So there you go.
Oh.
To till the ground. I want you to till the ground. It was work and worship.
How was it worship?
That is what the word means. It has the connotation of, as I do this, this is worship.
Yes. That's
in response to,
Yeah. It's our mindset of what we're doing, and when we're doing what we're called to be doing. It's worship. You got any last thoughts you want to say before we wrap up?
That's it.
Okay.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pumped to be on this podcast.
Thank you
Thanks.
for being here with
Yeah.
us today. And I actually think her voice is stellar and
It
she
is.
can like run the show. So I think she needs to be like, a sub host sometimes
Love
when I'm
that.
gone.
Bring it
Just
on.
run this thing. Yeah. Okay.
When, what is it? You, Sarah, and then.
No, just me and Sarah usually. So
Yeah.
then you're next.
Sure.
Okay.
Put me on.
Perfect. I'm going to schedule that right now.
Great.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you followed our, convoluted conversation, but I think it was really powerful and continue on. We are, I don't know, in our second week of the fast and of the prayer intensive, just focus in and what PJ says, extravagant time with Jesus is what I'm looking forward to. So fight for it. And we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.